So, welcome everyone. Welcome to the final Instagram Live. I am Kimberly King of Consulting Services by King and Associates Limited. And after 4 weeks, I am sure that you all know my name and we know each other a little more. It's such a pleasure to have you for one of the more popular topics when I run online workshops. This is by far one of the more popular topics. Getting started with Facebook ads. So to start off, can you tell me if you've actually ever used Facebook advertising with regards to your service business? Has anyone ever used Facebook advertising or attempted to? Come on, be sure to drop those comments, as well as if you have a question along the way, there is a question mark in a little circular sort of chat icon. Be sure to also drop your questions there. I will be happy to answer and facilitate those questions. So has anyone ever tried out Facebook advertising for their service business? Yes? No? Kim, Anthea, Bridget? Okay, good. And my follow-up question, in you using Facebook advertising, were you pleased with the results? Do you think you got some sort of awareness, or whatever your objective was, getting new customers? How did you feel about that campaign or the results of the campaign, Kim, when you would have run it? Were you happy with what you would have received? Come on, don't be shy to share, anyone. We're here tonight to make it all a two-way. All right. So ideally, with my customers, when I talk about Facebook ads, I usually maybe awareness. Okay, good. Thanks for that, Kim. So for my customers, when they run Facebook ads, some persons are like, okay, as soon as I put an ad on, I definitely, in terms, I'm able to see a lot of leads, or I'm able to get persons asking about my services. All right. So what I'm saying is that not only should your ads be effective, but you should also be able to measure those results. But that's down the line. All right, so hi Patrick, welcome this evening to tonight's live. It's the final out of the series. It's great to have you. Right, correct, Kim. You're not sure if it was effective with regards to conversion. Exactly. And that's a known problem that a lot of customers who run Facebook advertising tend to talk about. So tonight we're going at easy, and we're just going to talk about how to get you started, a few things that you can do better, and of course, at the end, tell you about some really, really great things that are happening in the pipeline that can be to your benefit. All right, so in Trinidad and Tobago, no, I should start off saying in the world, Facebook, when compared to, I would say, YouTube and then WhatsApp, is in the top 3 social media platforms that is used. So if you've been ever one of those business owners who usually tend to be like, you know what, social media, I'm just going to put my content out there and expect to get a sale, or there's no need for me to run campaigns because ideally I have a following, or I have over 1,000 followers, and I'm bound to get a sale from 1,000 of those followers. But the reality is, yes, it's good that you're able to definitely build your content over time for your business on social media. And tonight we're talking about Facebook and Instagram especially. But it's also important to add the paid element to it. So you're probably asking yourself, why should I be putting my bucks in? Good evening, Ebony Bell Communique. I hope I've pronounced that name right. Pleasure to have you. So you're probably saying to yourself, why should I be spending my money on Facebook advertising? This is so expensive. or it doesn't get me the results that I need. So what you need to definitely be focusing on before we even get to there is not only building up a presence on your different social media platforms, namely Facebook and Instagram, but what you also need to be doing is being very focused on your purpose of being on social media. So it's just not a matter of looking pretty in your content. When I say that, I mean designing really attractive visuals for your content on social media, but it really is because you want to be able to be talking to the persons who you want to buy from you. Hey Kendra, hey Sasha, great to have you all here. All right, ideally that's what you want. You want to build a relationship with the persons that you want to ultimately buy from you. And especially if you're a service business, event planning, bookkeeping, accounting services, consultant services, etc. Once you're building a service business, your focus is always first on a relationship. And with social media, it's all about trying your best to connect with that customer who's an ideal fit for your service. So in Trinidad and Tobago, we have, I know many persons here from in the region, and thank you for stopping in, but I'm speaking with regards to just a snapshot of what I know about Trinidad and Tobago. So in Trinidad and Tobago, our population is just about 1.4. And when you look at the stats coming out from big companies like Hootsuite with regards to social media, they are saying to us that in terms of Trinidad and Tobago, there are over 800,000 persons on social media now who have social media accounts. Now, that's amazing, right? For a population that is 1.4 over 800,000. And those persons that can be reached with ads is just over 700,000. So if you're thinking, you know what, I'm not going to spend any money with regards to Facebook advertising, there's no need to, you're sort of shooting yourself in the leg. And that's why I say you need to have first a strategy as to coming onto social media. You need to be able to build your presence and then be able to say, okay, let me run some ads. And you're probably saying to yourself, why should I be running ads? As I said before, with regards to Facebook, Facebook is in the top 3 social media platforms that are used worldwide with regards to the most used social media platforms. All right. So why should you advertise on Facebook? For those of you that have run ads on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, they're all connected, right? So you're probably saying to yourself, why should I be even deciding to do Facebook ads? For those of you that have, what was your purpose in doing that? I know Kim had said she had run some ads, basically, to probably build awareness. Why do you all run ads? Anyone? Remember, this is 2 ways, so I'm trying to get your feedback here as well to keep me pumping. Sasha, Kendra, Ebony Bell, Afea, any of you all have ever run Facebook ads before? And why do you do so? Waiting. All right. Well, I know with regards to why you should be saying to build relationships. Yes, thanks, Lizal. Yes, with regards to building relationships. Sasha said no. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I know, Sasha, you are now building up your presence on social media, so it might take you a bit of time before you get to the point of being into a paid part of media. But the reasons ideally you should be looking at Facebook advertising is because you want to ensure that your message, your content reaches not only the persons that are your followers, but persons who might not, because of all that's happening on social media that is so very busy, persons who may not have had the opportunity to look at your page, etc., that they find out about you and your services. So Facebook advertising, when done right, puts you in front of your ideal customer. And as I said, it must always start with a strategy. Then you roll out into a plan. For example, your plan will be very tactical as it pertains to your content planner. And then once you've built that presence, you can then decide, okay, I'm going to run Facebook ads. What I will say for you not to do is probably start, let's say, September, and then in October you decide to run ads. It makes no sense. How it's operating is that the algorithm, Facebook, must be able to have a sense of who you are in terms of your business and be able to recognize that, be able to recognize the sort of content that you're producing and who is definitely attracted to that sort of content. And then you're able to say, hey, you know what? I want persons to start learning more about me. And you build accordingly. Now, what a lot of my customers tend, and also as I said before, with regards to this workshop, Facebook ads, this is one of the more requested workshops that I usually have. In 1 month alone, I usually get like 3 of these workshops in because it's very much in high demand. And I think it's because people see the potential and the power of being online. I mean, with COVID, we realized that persons were spending a lot more time online, a lot more time on social media platforms and consuming a lot more information. And once done right, you are able to get your message in front of the right person. Most of my customers tend to say that they use boosting. They boost a post. Now, nothing is wrong with boosting a post. Now, boosting is where you see that little blue button to the right-hand side of a post that you would have created already. And sometimes Facebook will prompt you and say, hey, do you want to boost this? Or sometimes on Instagram, hey, do you want to create an ad? Or promote an ad. This is doing exceptionally well when compared to your other posts. And you are very tempted and you say, you know what? Yeah, boost post. Now, that's ideally what a lot of persons do, service businesses do. They just boost the posts. Have you all ever done that? Anyone? Feel free to drop a comment or ask a question, as I said. However, what a lot of persons don't know is boosting a post, as well as it's good, it does not give you the targeted results that you need for your business. All right? So ideally, at the end of the day, if you're putting in 50, 60, 70 bucks into Facebook ads and you're not seeing the results and you just continuously boost, you may not see the kind of results that you want because you're not taking your time to refine your target audience. With regards to boosting, I know it's very, very easy to do. As I said before, you must have a page for your business. So that's a business page versus a profile. And with the page, as I said, once you have a post that you've created, you will see that blue button below that says boost a post. Now, with boosting that post, it gives you a lot of options. Do you want more messages? Do you want more calls? Do you want persons to know about your business, etc.? It gives you a lot of options. But what it does not do an excellent job at is really giving you a very granular or very specific way of reaching who is your ideal client. So, for example, I had one customer who said to me, and I looked at his page, that a lot of persons boost, but the level of engagement is still low. Yes, correct. Because boosting versus the use of Facebook Ads Manager is completely 2 different things. You know, for example, when I say that, most persons on the workshops usually open their eyes and say, oh, really? Facebook ads? I mean, I've heard about it. It makes a difference. Yes, it does. Now, don't knock boost at all. I actually had a client who came to me with a problem that he had with regards to billing. And when I really dissected what he was doing with Facebook ads, he used nearly 9 out of 10 times he was using Boost, and he was getting mad traction with regards to leads. And when I asked him with regards to the conversion, he was converting, I would say, just over 50% of those leads, which is a great conversion. And when I really looked at his Facebook page, it was because he's an excellent salesman. And even though he would have received a lead via the Facebook ad, his follow-ups, his questioning, his guidance really made a difference in prompting that conversion. Now, what I'm saying to you is that please don't rely on Facebook ads to be the be-all and end-all. Just like your marketing plan, just like using digital marketing versus traditional marketing. I know a lot of us here are servicepreneurs as well as small service-based businesses, so we don't have large budgets. But what I'm saying to you is that don't just be so focused on bringing in clients via customers via Facebook ads that you toss out every other idea. For example, you can get customers via doing a freebie, something like this, a freebie like a webinar or an ebook, etc. So there are different avenues for you to be able to capture a new customer or a lead. And that really all depends on your sales funnel, which is an entirely other topic. But tonight, with regards to your Facebook ads, what I'm saying is that don't become so reliant that you become complacent as to how you should really be going out and capturing new leads for the business and really converting them. As I said before, if you create content that is very valuable to your customer problems, it makes the problem of getting new customers easier for you, especially when you launch a campaign, Facebook ads. So I'm not saying, as I said before, don't go ahead and build content for a month and then launch a Facebook ads campaign. Persons are going to come on and say, okay, well, he or she has only 5 or 6 posts. How do I know he or she is an authority here with regards to speaking about this particular problem? I'm not seeing any engagement. Persons don't engage with the post. Persons don't reshare. Persons don't comment. Nothing. All right. So you have to build your presence online via these social media platforms and then decide to build a campaign. And as I said before, persons tend to go to the natural blue button, which is to boost first. But boosting is not the be all and end all. There's so much more to understand when it comes to Facebook ads. So any questions, don't forget to drop a comment as well as to use the question mark in the circular tab icon below and drop a question if you have any. All right. And what I usually talk about that most persons don't know when they come on the workshop is all about the Facebook pixel. Now, the Facebook pixel is actually quite amazing. And once you have that pixel connected to your CRM, connected to your website, it really helps to integrate. Let me see if I could break it down. It really helps to integrate or connect your Facebook page to your CRM, to your website, etc. Why is this important? It's because I don't like to use the word tracking, but what it does, it really shows that particular ad that you would have created to the right persons. It also drives more sales. And once you've connected it also to your CRM, which is your customer relationship management system. And if you were on any of the previous lives, I think about 2 weeks ago, I would have spoken about HubSpot and its CRM and being all team HubSpot. So once you have that connected with your CRM and your website, you are able to see persons who click on your ad, what sort of activity they are taking, which I absolutely love. So for example, just to walk through an example for you all, let's say Jenna clicks on one of my workshop ads, inputs her details, that goes directly to my CRM. when I check persons who are most engaged with the information I would have sent out, I would have noticed that Jenna might have been viewing a few pages of the website, particularly one or two specific. I've also seen how much time she might have clicked on over a period of time, an email campaign that I would have sent out. So from the Facebook ads, once that person clicks on that ad, I am able to see information in real time with regards to their behavior. And let me tell you, learning person's behavior is the amazing thing ever. Sounds like great target marketing. Tracking will allow for better future planning. Absolutely. You're so right on that, Charlene. Because once you start to learn person's behavior, I guess it's the same with our relationships, right? Human relationships. Once you start to learn a person's behavior, you are able to predict certain things down the pipeline, right? You're able to have an idea how to craft your messaging. You're able to understand what sort of services you should be offering because you're seeing how they are interacting online. And what Facebook does, especially with this Pixel connected, it makes it easier for you to basically have that ad, once structured well, have that ad really resonate with similar persons who you're really trying to connect with. So I absolutely love it. I mean, there have been a few changes because of especially persons who are Team Apple and they use an iPhone. It has had some hiccups, but you're able to change your settings on your end as a person creating the ads to ensure that your ad is shown to persons who have iPhones, especially the later versions. All right. So that's something that I know a lot of persons do not know, and I hope you've taken note of that. There's an easy way also to create a Facebook pixel if you don't yet have one within Facebook Ads Manager. As I said before, once you have a business page on Facebook, you will easily have access to Facebook Ads Manager. You just have to go into, Facebook for Business and check out your business settings and create one right in there. All right. Do I have any questions tonight? Feel free to drop a comment or a question. I'm here for another 5 to 7 minutes, so take advantage of this. Also on your Facebook page, another question that I usually get asked is how can I access Facebook Ads Manager from my page? And usually when you look down that left panel, you would see a lot of different options that you can utilize. For example, there is news feed, there's updates, and then you click on the Ad Center. And that's where you're able to connect with Facebook Ads Manager. All right, so you get in there and you hit create an ad. Now, what I love about Facebook, now, don't get me wrong, as I keep saying, I believe back in the day when I now started, I'm like, Facebook is getting kind of old, you know? I mean, if I'm not knocking anybody here on age, but if my mother could be on Facebook, I mean, is it really the place that I want to be? And the answer is yes. And that's one of the most attractive things about Facebook, actually, is that it has such a wide demographic, from young to pretty old, from professionals to entrepreneurs, etc. And Facebook does an excellent job of having data that is useful to you. And they are always doing updates. As I said, you go do the research also, and you will see that the top 3 social media platforms, Facebook is just about number 2 right after YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. So that is really incentive for you to keep honing, to keep looking at your social media platforms and tweaking and becoming better. I know it can be incremental, it can be tiring, but there's so much that can be done, and you just have to find a method to the madness, really. But what it is I love with regards to Facebook Ads Manager when you get on there is that you can select a goal based on where your business is at. So let's say for the last 6 months, you've recently joined Facebook. Your business is on Facebook for about 6 months. And, you have quite a few followers. You've been consistently posting content. You really develop some sort of engagement with your niche. So after young folks believe Facebook is for old persons, but many of the younger ones do not have the spending power exactly. And actually, that you raise a good point there. And actually, that comes from understanding who your ideal customer is. Now, that gets the point that I'm actually making. Don't think that you just jump into Facebook ads. You see, all of that, all of that work you would have been doing from your business plan to creating an ideal customer profile or a customer avatar, to understanding the likes and the behaviors of your customers, etc. And then to the point of scheduling content, learning what really resonates with your customers, and then building a campaign with regards to Facebook ads. All of that is very much linked. And what I love about Facebook is that once you get onto Facebook ads, it allows you to select a goal based on where your business is at. So even when you start creating an ad, sometimes Facebook will prompt you and say, hey, based on your type of business, I think you should be creating a lead generation ad. Or based on your business, I think you should be creating brand awareness. So you have to understand where your business is at and what you're trying to achieve. Don't try to click conversions with regards to your ad goal. If you're now starting off, you have a 6 to 9 month presence and you're really trying to learn about your customers and have them engage with your content, right? Ideally, you at an awareness stage. And how Ads Manager is really structured is that there's a focus, for example, to the start of where you have an idea of what your goal is, what your spend is, what is the time period you want to run your ad for. Ideally, I say to customers something like 7 to 10 days. After 7 days is really awesome. As well as the second part of it for Facebook ads, using Facebook Ads Manager, is your target audience or your customers, your ideal customers. And there are some things in there that are just going to blow your mind. All right. Now, you get better at doing Facebook ads when you learn to read data. And even though that sounds complicated, it's not, because Facebook is pretty amazing. It gives you all the data. All right. As I said, be sure to look at Facebook Pixel, have that connected with your website, with your CRM, and that's that data right there for you. But what I'm also saying is that you have to be looking at the data. And if you have an understanding of who you're having a conversation with, trust me, it took me some while, because at first I thought, oh, I'm talking to sales professionals. And I'm like, no, it's not sales professionals. I'm talking to businesses and business owners who are very much service-based. And you either running the show alone, or you have a very small team, and you're probably a consultant, a coach, a writer, an event planner, a caterer, a maintenance, or a contractor. That's the person that I'm having the conversation with. And that comes after time. And what I realized is that when I got clearer on who I was having a conversation with, I learned their behaviors, I learned their interests, my Facebook ads got really better. What is the best time frame for boosting? 1 week? I'll be honest in saying that I prefer boosting for when I just want to get some likes, or I want to have persons get a little more familiar with regards to consulting services by King and Associates Limited. But with regards to looking at an appropriate time frame for running an ads, I definitely say anything over 7 days. I tend to do average of 10 days, but it also means looking at your spend. That's also a part of Facebook Ads Manager, which you can select. There's some things in there that you need to be careful of how you select, because you don't want, especially if you're using a credit card, you don't want where you are seeing a bill for an entire month and you're just running an ad for 10 days, right? So those things are important. And you also want to select an option where you are optimizing your spend. Remember, with regards to Facebook advertising, you're really being auctioned. Your ad is like a big auction. So there are probably other businesses vying for the eyeballs of the same persons. You need to make sure that you are optimizing where you would be looked at by your ideal customer. So what I was saying is that the second part of the Facebook Ads Manager is really looking at your target market, your ideal customer, and being able to select a very targeted approach. Now, if you have an email list, which I spoke about last week with regards to email marketing, it's amazing. Facebook allows you to use your email list to build an ad. And that's awesome, because an email list means that you would have already persons who have already an interest in your particular service. And that ad will be shown to them. You ever probably went on your phone and be like, okay, why am I seeing this ad from, just last week I signed up to their mailing list, or something in particular you might have signed up for, and you say, okay, I'm always seeing these ads. It's because they can be using their email list to build campaigns. It's really limitless. I shouldn't say limitless, but it's really amazing what you can do with Facebook ads, actually. And the final part, or the third part to your Facebook Ads Manager and building that campaign, is all about the visual. It's all about the placement also. Now, have you ever seen a Facebook ad where you are viewing, let's say, a video, and you would have seen the ad while scrolling? So that all comes down to the placement. And that's why I prefer Facebook Ads Manager over Boost. I'm not saying that Boost is not good. It's great when you're now getting started. It's great for certain objectives. But if you want to really get granular, if you want to be very targeted, you need to be looking at Facebook Ads Manager. And as I was saying, with Facebook Ads Manager, I have better placement. So, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Videos, Watch, etc. While using Facebook Ads Manager, I can build a campaign where I am placed in all of these spots. Whereas if I select Boost, I'm just really going to be in the news feed, and I think with stories, if I'm not mistaken, just about 2 places. Where with regards to Ads Manager, I have the opportunity to be in about 5 spots. All right, let me just get to that. And we are going to wrap up. So I usually get asked the question a lot. Persons say, hey, I use Boost. I don't really know about Facebook Ads Manager. I need a little help in learning how to build a campaign with Ads Manager. That's why I'm here. Please feel free to reach out if this is you as well. And as I was saying, the difference between Boost and Ads Manager, with Boost, you really get the news feed and Instagram, whereas with the placement with Ads Manager, you are, let's say, in Marketplace, Newsfeed, Audience Network, etc., etc. So you could have your customers scrolling and looking at a video, and your ad pops up, which I love. It's kind of intrusive, but if it's something that the person is very much interested in, because you would have targeted that so well, it shouldn't be a nuisance. All right. Are there any questions? Because I'm just about to wrap up. What I also like also with regards to Facebook Ads Manager versus Boost is that you are able to really select the objective versus where with Boost it's probably engagement and likes. It's very much in a small pond, where with Facebook Ads Manager you have, for example, lead gen, you have conversions, you have brand awareness, etc. So the options are a little more with Facebook ads, and as I said, with regards to results, it's a lot more targeted, especially based on what I've seen with customers as well as running my own campaigns. What I like also creatively, and sometimes this makes a difference. I shouldn't say sometimes, but I've tested it. Even with building an ads campaign, you can actually test an ad, beta test an ad to see which one is performing better. Now, I didn't have the luxury of resources. How much ads you should do in a month? How much ads should you do in a month? I would really say what really is your purpose first before you start talking about quantity. What really is the purpose of deciding on doing a campaign? For example, you may decide to do a campaign when you have a promotion coming up. So let's say with regards to Lizelle case, that promotion might be an incentive for persons to book over, well, the holiday period, the vacation period has ended. So for persons to book probably within this week, they get an incentive, and you can actually do a Facebook ad for that and run that for some time. Ideally, as I said before, it really should be planned. There should be a purpose, there should be a strategy in place. It shouldn't be a knockoff where, okay, I want 5 ads this month. It really also depends on your resources. Now, if you have a goal in mind where you want to achieve, let's say you want to achieve more specific followers within a time frame. Let's say persons from Tobago or persons from a specific area that you realize tend to buy from you a lot. Let's say San Fernando, Chaguanas, Port of Spain, etc. You can do a targeted ad, for that specific area, as well as you can do it over a specific period of time. But I am not going to say do five campaigns in 1 month or whatever. You can have a campaign running for how long ever. The larger, for example, larger business might do a campaign for an entire month because they have the resources. Ideally, you can do a campaign for 10 days, as I said, in a particular month. Allocate the resources to that, but always make sure that you have a desired goal in mind of why you're doing this particular campaign. It just shouldn't be because you want to say that you're running ads. All right. Any more questions? So as I was saying, creatively, I prefer also Facebook Ads Manager to Boost, because you are really able to, remember with Boost, you would have created the content or the post already and you're boosting a post. Whereas with Ads Manager, you can creatively design something that is really going to catch that customer's eye. For example, there are carousel ads. Those ads that you can swipe and click on. They're still images, they're videos, which is really a little more dynamic. Yeah. So as I said before, I definitely believe that you should always aim to have an integrated approach to how you capture new business, new customers. It shouldn't only be via social media. It should really be something that is mixed and very specific to your business and who you're trying to connect to. So I hope this was very, very, very useful to all of you all, especially for those that are either now getting their feet wet or now looking at Facebook ads for their businesses. And trust me when I say it does deliver on results. And actually it can be not only an excellent lead generation tool, but it can be a means of you bringing persons into your funnel and over time using different tactics. For example, email marketing, which I spoke about last week, to get them to stay with you. All right. So the exciting news tonight is that the Instagram Live series has come to an end. So this is a curtain call. Thank you very much to all the persons who would have been here from the very start 4 weeks ago. I can't believe the month literally flew by. And the exciting news is that once you've been here once, twice for the entire series, you get the opportunity to be a part of the early bird special that's coming up on September the 30th. What is going to be happening is that a workshop series is going to be launched to help service businesses like yours sell better. So whether that be social media, whether that be Facebook ads, whether that be CRM, look out for that bundle. And once you've been here, you are able to get that early bird special. If you're interested, you know how to get me. You can more than DM, message, send an email. I'll be happy to assist. So thanks again, everyone. If there are any questions, I'm taking them now before we bid each other goodbye. Any questions with regards to Facebook ads, what you can do better, what you may need help with as well. All right. And for those of you who are very much new and have not yet subscribed to the mail list, please be sure to check out the website www.kingandassociatestt.com. When you see the pop-up that says sign up here, click, and you're able to definitely come into the little community of consulting services by King and Associates Limited. Trust me, it's going to be worth your time. All right. Hello, Kimberly. Sorry for dropping in so late. Oh, that's fine, Denise. I know how it is. I purposely did this one a little later because I know persons usually sort of settle in a little after 7. My pleasure, Kim. It has been a pleasure having you here. I hope to interact some more with you over time. So everyone, that's it. That's the end to the Instagram Live series. Check out the